featuring the Iowa Hawkeyes. We'll hear an opening statement from Coach and follow up with questions from the student athletes. The student athletes will then be dismissed, and we will open up with questions for Coach. Please make sure your cell phones are on silent. Coach, when you are ready, we would love to hear your opening statement.
First thing, I just want to, South Carolina, unbelievable basketball team, and I'm so proud of my women because I think they're the only people that really believed. I don't think anybody else, except for unless you were in black and gold, believed that we were going to win that game. So the women in that circle, they believed, and we prepared all week as if we were going to win this game. Before I turn it over to the women, I just want to put my condolences to everybody in Iowa City, Solon. We had some really bad tornadoes go through there this afternoon. A lot of damage. I don't know if anybody's hurt, but certainly, we're thinking about everybody back home.
We will now open up for questions for the student athletes. As a reminder, please raise your hand high so that we're able to see you. We're actually going to start with Nancy in the back on your left-hand side.
Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. Caitlin and Monica, what was it like to be part of this game and know how much attention it was, and did it live up to your own expectations? And then Monica, Dawn said that she thought you were actually the difference maker, that by Caitlin being able to get you down inside, how much did you guys come into the game knowing that that was going to be a factor?
Yeah, I thought it was a tremendous game for women's basketball. The crowd was incredible, and shout out to all the Hawk fans that have traveled down to Dallas. They were so amazing and so loud and so fun. I don't think we would be at this point in our season if it wasn't for them. I truly mean that, and I know so many tuned in. I think just tonight showed how fun women's basketball is. Two really great teams that went at it. I'm sure so many people wish this was a series of 7 games. That would be really, really fun. And I think, if we continued the series, it might go one way or the other every single time. But obviously we get, out-rebounded by quite a bit, but we didn't hang our heads. That's all you could do is, we gave up some boards. We fouled when we didn't need to, but, we just came together and said, next play mentality, and that's all you can do, really.
Yeah, I think that's a tremendous compliment coming from Coach Staley. But I think all the credit goes to my teammates. I mean, they find me in positions that I am the most effective. And they do it game in and game out all the time. The confidence that they have in me is quite unreal, truly. So I'm just so proud to be on this team. Yeah.
We have a question on our left-hand side, the third row.
Hey, Molly Kahlin with Adweek. So, Caitlin, you've talked a lot about trust in the past. How did that come into play tonight?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is, knowing how much my teammates trust me. I was given the ball and, kind of the biggest moments of the game on the biggest stage. But also at the same time, my teammates really came through and played huge minutes. I thought Addie and Hannah Stolke were tremendous off the bench. That's a hard position to be in, to be able to sit there and, come in when mom gets fouls. Hannah leaks out for an easy 2. Addie comes in and gets 2 buckets for us. So, and then McKenna plays through, getting knocked in the head pretty well and then gets the biggest O board of the game. I understand South Carolina got 25 O boards, but there was one O board that really mattered the most, and it was McKenna Warnock's. And, that kind of sealed the deal for us, and we were able to make free throws. So, I think it's, I might score the most points, but at the end of the day, we aren't anywhere without my teammates, and I truly mean that. Gabby Marshall doesn't score tonight, but her defense was outstanding. Zaya Cook is a tremendous, tremendous player, and I thought she was all over her, never got discouraged. She comes away with 3 steals. So, I think everybody just, did their role. And that's what our team's about is, knowing your role, doing your role, and showing up in that every single day.
We have a question to our right in the second row.
Chloe Peterson, Daily Iowan. For McKenna, what was going through your head when you got that offensive rebound with less than 30 seconds left?
Just get it to Caitlin, honestly. But, obviously we always want to get those O boards, and I'm glad that I could come up with that one. It kind of fell into my lap, and that's kind of what we wanted in those moments anyways. We wanted some of those kind of bounce our way tonight, and I'm glad it did at that moment. And then I'm glad that Caitlin knocked those free throws down. So
we're staying to our right in the front row.
Susan Harmon, HawkFanatic.com. For Monica, how were you able to get free from all their size and their mobility?
Yeah, I think it was really coming out of the paint. I couldn't really do what I normally did and just post up down there. I really had to come out and set ball screens and try to really expose the screen and roll, and I think that worked out pretty well for us.
We're moving to our left-hand side, the front row.
Jacob Phillips, Daily Gamecock. Caitlin, when the buzzer went off, you threw the ball up in the air and just started celebrating. Just what was going through your mind during that, knowing you're going to go play for a national championship?
I think just, I'm really, really thankful to be in this position more than anything. And like Coach Bluter said, probably everybody in America picked South Carolina, deservedly so. They've been ranked #1 all year. They've won 42 straight basketball games, Why wouldn't you pick them? But at the same time, the people in our locker room believed in us. And that's all you need is a belief in one another, a confidence in one another, and we just do it for the person to our left and our right. We might not be, we're clearly not as tall as them. We're clearly not as athletic as them. But I think we're a very, very skilled basketball team, that loves one another. And that's going to get you really, really far.
We're staying on our left-hand side, this first seat.
Jeff Linder, Cedar Rapids Gazette. For any of the players, how in the world do you get grounded again, get ready to play on Sunday?
I think it's just, celebrate it for right now, and then we're going to go back and watch some film. It's just a business mentality at this point, and I think we've done a really good job of doing that in the past. Big Ten tournament prepares you for this, and I think that's kind of how we look at it. So,
Staying on our left, go ahead.
Sabrina Merchant, The Athletic. Caitlin, you've faced just about every kind of defense possible when teams try to stop you. What was special about this South Carolina defense, and how were you able to get the better of it?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I have seen a lot of really good defenses. I think the thing was we saw some weaknesses early in the game, and that's what we just kept going to. And I think that gives a lot of credit to Coach Bluter because she kept putting us in the same action that was working. And, they were guarding Mon pretty high up, so that was allowing me to get to the rim. I thought we were dragging their rim protectors away from the rim where they're used to being. But honestly, a lot of screening action. I thought we set up a lot of away screens, a lot of down screens, a lot of ball screens. And that's something we saw in film that we thought could work, and I thought, we executed that well. But yeah, they still made it tough on me. They were all over my shorts. They created 8 turnovers. A few of them were probably forced by myself, and I have the ball in my hands a lot. So, they're really, really tremendous. But at the same time, I find confidence in the fact that, I feel like this team has seen just about every defense you can face. So I'm never intimidated going into a game. I don't feel like these girls are ever intimidated. We know we need to be crisp. We need to be clean. And I still don't even think we shot the ball to the best of our ability tonight either. I'm 5 for 17. That's not too hot. Probably could have made a few more. And then I thought they did a really good job on Gabby Marshall. She only gets 1 shot. I probably could have got her another shot, but, I thought they were, all over her. But yeah, I think it's just the confidence we find in each other.
We're going to go to the front row and our right-hand side.
Chad Leistico, Des Moines Register. Caitlin, I know you're a hoops junkie. What did you make of the game plan that you guys had? And did you have some input in it as the week went on to how to stop them, and then also your offense as it pertained to your offense?
Yeah, I didn't have any input. Sometimes I give input and they still don't want it. But our coaches, they've been in this game a really long time. I thought they've had a tremendous game plan, and obviously they've been working on this scout for quite some time. It's probably very obvious that South Carolina was going to get to this point, and I loved our game plan. Pack the paint. At times I wasn't really even 2 feet out of the paint. And we were going to live with them making threes. I thought Johnson came through and made some tough threes and situations where they really needed it, but we never got discouraged or anything like that. So, I loved our game plan. We really packed the paint, made them earn it around the rim, and obviously, they got some O boards, but at the same time, nobody said we were going to out-rebound them. That would have been, a lie. But, I thought all we did was just come back down every single time and, buy into our defense. And Coach Bluter switched it up quite a bit, too, and I thought that gave them problems. She's always a coach. We're never going to stay in one defense too long. You got to keep switching it up.
We're going to stay on our far right.
Mitch Vick, KGN, all 3 of you. Kate took me to task a little bit ago. I asked her what it took and how you'd survive the waves that were going to come after a first quarter you couldn't ask anything more from. She said, I think we thrived, actually. You guys agree with that you kind of set the tone and kept it the whole game?
Due to time, we'll have one person answer. If I can have McKenna do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think obviously coming out and getting that lead right away was really awesome. I don't think that they've been down much this season, and that was a great thing for us. And I think we do a great job when we come out starting hot, and we definitely did this game. And I'm just really proud of our ability to kind of withstand all their runs at the times and keep and maintain that lead the entire game. So,
far left, Lindsay, please go ahead.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. So, Caitlin, before this game, would you have compared Monica to Draymond Green? Because during the game, I was getting quite a few texts from basketball people who were saying, she's the difference maker. And Monica, I wondered if you watched some Draymond Green footage to get you in this mood.
To be honest, no, I would never compare Monica to Draymond. But the person on our team who I would is Kate Martin. She's the player that does all the dirty work, sets people up, sets her teammate up, is an emotional leader. So they might have gotten Kate and Mon confused. But Monica probably not so much. We could probably find some different player comps for her. But no, I think, she made some tough baskets tonight. She had a finish there at the end of the third quarter that was, about as good a finish as I've ever seen by a post player. She has 6'7" guarding her, and she makes a huge basket that, gives us another 2 points when, it comes down to it at the end. We needed that.
We're going to go to our right-hand side. Howard, please go ahead.
Howard Magdal at the Nets. Monica, for you, it was a decision to come back. And I'm just wondering if you've reflected on that decision tonight. And Caitlin, I'm wondering, it seemed you ran into the crowd to go hug someone. You talk about that moment and who you hugged and what that was like.
Yeah, I mean, the decision to come back was the easiest decision I've ever had to make, quite honestly. I would have been a fool to leave this program and leave this family. I would have done it. I obviously knew we had something to prove, but I would have done it no matter what, whether we would have come back with no expectations at all. We truly are such a family, and I know you hear it a lot, and it gets kind of old, but this is something I'll never forget, being with this group of people, getting to do what we love to do every single day and working together through adversity every single day. So, no regret on my end.
We're gonna take a virtual call. We'll go with. Oh, I'm sorry. Please go ahead, Caitlin. I apologize.
Just my family in the stands. That's who I was hugging. Obviously they've been like my biggest supporters all throughout my career, and that's one of the reasons I came to Iowa is because, they wanted to be at all my games. Travel around and support. My dad comes to a lot of my stuff, and just to be able to share the moment with them, and it's pretty special to all of us to have our families here and be along this ride with them, and people that have sacrificed a lot for us.
At this time, we'll take a virtual call. Sean, please proceed. Your line is unmuted.
Hi, Sean Schultz, WNBA Swish. The question's for Caitlin. With the game tonight widely being talked about as maybe one of the most watched women's basketball games in history, how does it feel to be a part of something like that?
Man, it's incredible. But I think people tune in because they love watching the Iowa Hawkeyes. I truly believe that. I understand I'm an exciting player and people love to watch my game, but we play the right style of basketball. We're a skilled team. We shoot the ball well. But I think it's the joy and the love we have for one another. We smile. We support each other. We high five. It's incredible and it's special. And I think, if you want to really see a team, you look at Coach Bluter and what she's built here at the University of Iowa. They're teams. And that carries you a really long way.
We're going to go to our far left side in the corner.
Skylar Dixon with the AP. Caitlin, you get the national stage again Sunday when the odds said maybe that might not happen, and you also are chasing the ultimate prize. How do you look at that right now?
Yeah, I think, we have to be able to enjoy this for a moment, but also, reset our minds. We didn't come this far just to play in the national championship game. We're here to win it. We're here to hoist the trophy. We're here to cut down another championship net. So, we need to take care of our bodies. We need to take care of our minds. But, I think we have one of the best coaching staffs that is going to have us really, really prepared for that game. And LSU is a very, very talented team. But I think we're going to have a lot of different things that we can throw at them. We're going to change things up, and we just have to have the belief that we can win. We don't have to change anything that we've done. Is dial in on player personnel and be who we are and be who we've been all year long.
Take a question to our right.
Hi, Maria McElwain, Philadelphia Inquirer. This is for Monica or McKenna. So what's it like playing alongside someone like Caitlin, who not only puts up 41 points, but then is so selfless about it?
If we could start with Monica.
Yeah, I mean, it's really special. Obviously, we get to see all the work she puts in each and every day. So when she wins these awards and is doing all this stuff, it's not really surprising to any of us. We see what goes on behind the scenes, but The way she's grown as a teammate and a leader on this team has been really special. She really fits into our family atmosphere. She always has. Coach Blitter recruits people who she knows are gonna make a team, like Caitlin said. So it's so fun to play with her, honestly. Getting to watch that every single day, getting to be a part of it, you can't make it up. It's one of the coolest things I'll ever do in my life. So I love it.
And McKenna?
I mean, there's honestly no one more deserving than Caitlin, obviously, and it's been so fun to be able to grow with her these past 3 years and 92 games now or something that we've started together, and she just elevates everyone around you. And I mean, even I find myself just standing in awe, like watching her every single day. But it's just so fun and so amazing for women's basketball in general and Iowa Hawkeyes. So,
take a question from the back and the left. Nancy?
Nancy Emmer, USA Today Sports. Caitlin, Magic Johnson has been name-checking you on Twitter throughout the tournament, and there were people who, going into this game, were comparing it to Bird and Magic in '79 because of you and Aaliyah. I'm wondering what those comparisons are like, and do you think about the fact that this could really elevate the game to a completely different level, just like their title game in '79 did?
Yeah, I think, it's really good for our game. And like Coach Staley said last year during all the Player of the Year discussion is, we need to have these discussions. That's what gets people engaged about women's basketball. It shouldn't just be one person end all be all. People wanted this matchup probably for a couple years, and obviously it's the Iowa Hawkeyes versus South Carolina. That's what it was. We won because we were a team. And, South Carolina is probably one of the deepest teams in America. So, I think it's really, really good for the game. That's what's going to have it going forward. And I think, even when we played Louisville, people were talking about matchups, and that's what got people excited. And I think the viewership showed that as well. And I wouldn't be surprised when these numbers come out. I think it'll be, probably the most watched women's basketball game in the tournament of all time. So, yeah, I think it's good for the game. I think it moves it forward and gets people excited about what's on TV.
We're going to take our last question, and it'll be a virtual one. David, your line is unmuted. Please proceed.
Questions for David Melanger of Sports Talk Philadelphia. Questions for Caitlin. This game tonight marked the matchup of the last two players of the year. Do you feel like you gained new fans in this game tonight? And secondly, how does it feel to take down undefeated South Carolina to get to the national championship game?
Yeah, no, I don't feel like I gained an advantage other than, my team winning and advancing to the national championship. That's awesome. But Aaliyah's a tremendous player. They got some tough calls on her tonight. Maybe, in a different game, they're not fouls. But, she was my teammate, and I know how great of a player she is, but even a better person. And that's why she's going to be the #1 draft pick, as she should. And, it's been fun to watch her success at South Carolina and what she's been able to build there. And I truly mean that. But yeah, I mean, obviously it feels really good to take down a team that has won 42 straight basketball games. That's really, really hard to do. Nobody's been able to do it all year. They've been ranked #1 in the polls, and, all we did was believe and then go out and achieve it.
Thank you very much, ladies. Congratulations, and look forward to seeing you on Sunday. At this time, we'll open it up for questions for Coach. Coach to our left, the second row.
Hi, Lisa. Jerry Longman with the New York Times. Could you talk about your offensive game plan? And as Caitlin said, you obviously spotted some weaknesses as far as pick and roll and dragging their big players out away from the basket.
Yeah, we really mostly ran our offense that we run every single game. But, when we saw that we were able to score on some ball screens, we tried to emphasize that a little bit more. With McKenna being a three-point shooter, we knew that Aaliyah would have to come out and guard her out there. And McKenna ended up making one of them. But I thought all of her shots, were pretty good. And I would let McKenna shoot. She's a 40% three-point shooter over her 4-year career. So, my money's on her making those. And it was really just a lot of screening action. And floor balance. I think we do a really good job of balancing the floor, and so it really, somebody really can't help as much on you.
I'm going to take a question in our back on our left-hand side.
Nancy Emmer, USA Today Sports. Lisa, when the matchups are this hyped, this anticipated, they don't often live up to it. Caitlin did, and then some. Did she even surprise you tonight?
She doesn't really surprise me anymore, but I was worried about her getting tired out there. She had to play a lot of minutes. I I think she's the most phenomenal basketball player in America. I just don't think there's anybody like her. In so many regards, not only scoring, but passing the ball, handling the ball. I mean, she had the ball in her hand almost all the time tonight against some pretty good defensive players. And then it's her mentality. I think that's what's so special is like she believes in herself. She believes in her teammates. She's so confident, but she's put the work in to deserve to have that confidence. Again, she said, when we were recruiting her, I want to get to a Final Four, and, it takes one person to believe it.
Coach, to your right.
Natalie Heverin with the Next. Back in October, you said on Locked On Women's Basketball you wanted to develop Caitlin's game in the paint. How has that happened over the course of the season, and what clicked for her tonight in that regard?
Yeah, that didn't come out as planned. I really thought I would be able to create some more post-up options for her and just try to develop her game that way. It didn't go so well. She didn't like being down there. Maybe she's just more comfortable 30 feet away from the basket. And so, sometimes it's not good to try to stick a, square peg into a round hole, and instead of, focusing on something that she wasn't maybe always doing, to just keep doing what she was doing pretty well.
Staying to our right.
Donnie Woods with World Exposure Report. Do you think there's been a pivotal moment this season that helped you get to this championship game, maybe going back to, I believe, February 21st against Maryland?
Somebody else asked me, and I think that was a huge point for us. We got embarrassed there. And, we came back and went to work. Brenda did a great job of having a defense we hadn't seen. Now we're ready for it. Louisville tried it. Now we're ready for it. So I thank her, because if it wasn't for that, we might not have been ready for it down the line. You always learn more from losses, unfortunately. You really do. Wins feel better, but you learn a lot from losses, and we learned a lot from that one. And, we came together even more after that loss, I think.
Coach, we'll take a question on the left-hand side, front row.
Kyle Huseman, Hawkeye Report. Kind of a two-part question. Starting off, South Carolina this year had the tendency to have some lower scoring quarters, but their defense had been able to keep them close in those quarters. What can you say about your guys' ability to take advantage and get a 9-point lead in the first quarter? And then the second part, they've been able to have quarters where they outscore a team 25-10, 25-12. What were you guys able to do to make sure that didn't happen? You kind of answered every single run that they had.
Yeah, I look at the score sheet. We led for almost 36 minutes of this game. We shot the ball very well to begin the first quarter. Second quarter, we took a little bit of a nosedive, but then came back in the third and fourth quarters. 19 of our last 24 quarters, we have shot over 50% from the field. I think we're the only team in America right now that shoots over 50%. And a lot of that, of course, is Caitlin. She's, her adjusted field goal percentage tonight's 56%. But Monica Sanano, 75% shooting. Kate Martin, Addison O'Grady came in, who hasn't played a lot of minutes for us. We needed her height tonight. She came in and did a great job for us. So, was the second part, Kyle?
Just being able to answer,
Oh.
They never really went on a really big run.
Yeah, again, the second quarter, we kind of took a little bit of a dive there. I wish Gabby could have nailed that three going into half. That would have been some great momentum for us. But we still went in with a lead. We talked about, hey, 20 minutes, 20 more minutes of basketball to beat South Carolina, and you got a memory for a lifetime. And, they did it. They really, they were feeling really good at halftime, and I thought we came out and shot the ball very well again. Couldn't keep them off the glass. That's just, Cardoza's just, she's amazing. She's just so big and keeps the ball high when she O-boards as well. She's just really good.
We're going to take a question in the back left-hand side. Lindsay, go ahead.
Lindsay Schnell, USA Today. Lisa, I'm on the fashion beat. I have to know, were you and Jan wearing matching blazers?
We were not. When I didn't see her when she left the hotel to come over here to scout, and she walked in like 10 minutes before the game, I said, oh no. Everybody else has like fashion people and makeup people. I got a Revlon flat iron in my hotel room, so that's about as far as I go.
Lisa, Howard Mandel at the Next. Congratulations. The Addison O'Grady approach tonight, just if you take me through what you were expecting from her. Obviously, you know they're big, you're going to need to go big, and if you gave her any kind of specific instructions heading into what turned out to be pivotal 10 minutes for you.
Yeah, she played really well, and we needed to have her height, just like we did against Colorado, same thing. Addie hasn't played as much this year as maybe we anticipated that she would, but boy, she's put in some valuable minutes in this tournament for us. We kind of told her, bring out your inner volleyball girl right now, because she was a good high school volleyball player, and we said, that's what you got to do out there to try to get those deflections off those rebounds.
We're going to take a virtual question. Avery Wiggins, your line is unmuted. You are permitted to speak.
Hey, Coach. Congratulations to you. I just want to ask you, and just you're coaching against Coach Staley, a two-time national champion, and just tell me, just what is it like coaching against her, and how well, especially game playing against Coach Staley?
It wasn't any different than any other game as far as I really tried not to look down there a whole lot. I don't try to look at interactions of coaches with officials and that sort of thing. So to me, it was Iowa versus South Carolina. It was, she's a great coach, obviously. She's got unbelievable talent, and she's our Olympic coach. I have so much respect for her and her staff, which includes a former Iowa Hawkeye on her staff in Gillette Law. I just have so much, and I guess that's what makes this win even more special, is because it was against somebody that has had such a storied career.
We have one more virtual question. Sean, your line is open. You are permitted to speak.
Hi, Coach. Sean Schultz from WNBA Swish. You've had such a legendary career, over 30 years of coaching. How does this game rank up there with some of the other ones you've experienced?
Oh, this has got to be number one. I don't know. Hoping for another good one on Sunday. But, yeah, anytime you are beating the number one team in the country who hasn't lost all year long, and they're being coached by the Olympic coach, it's a pretty good day. That's a pretty good day.
Coach, we're going to go to your right-hand side.
Hi. Maria McElwain, Philadelphia Inquirer. So when you were recruiting Caitlin, what did you see in her that you thought was kind of special? And did you ever see games like this happening when she was in high school and you were trying to get her to come to Iowa?
Yeah, I mean, she had games that were pretty amazing. The three-point line is a lot closer in high school than it is now. But recruiting her, it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out she was a pretty good basketball player. I mean, you could just watch her walk onto the court almost, and at a young age know that she is something special. It wasn't any found underneath a rock. I mean, this kid, everybody knew about her in the whole country. She represented USA basketball. Recruiting her was difficult. It took a lot of hard work, and I'll tell you, Jan Jensen, my associate head coach, worked harder than anybody to get her to come to Iowa. And so I'm really, proud of the relationship that we built with her from a young age. I think she always felt comfortable around us. Really had great conversations on the phone. And so, she's a relationship kid. And that really meant a lot to her.
We'll take our final question in the back corner, Coach.
Coach Bluter, hi. Aaron Barzilai from Her Hoop Stats. Your shot chart tonight was pretty amazing with all the threes, layups, and free throws. How much of that would you say is really driven by the talent you have, and you think that as your program continues forward and the talent changes, you'll be able to replicate that, and how much of that sort of your philosophy you think that's going to endure going forward?
It's absolutely our philosophy. I mean, we want to shoot threes. We love shooting threes. It's fun. Everybody gets excited about it. We shoot open threes even in transition. Otherwise we know the best next shot is right around the rim. So that is definitely philosophy.
Thank you so much for your time tonight,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Congratulations. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. As a reminder,